there are machines. And then, there are legends. Aston Martin has never just built cars, it has sculpted icons. Rolling expressions of art, elegance, and adrenaline. And within its lineup, one figure always rises above the rest. The one bound not just to the road, but to history. James Bond. The man, the myth, the driver. It began in 1964. A silver car, a cold stare, and a mission. James Bond was handed the keys to the DB5 in Goldfinger, and the world changed. That car became more than transportation. It became a cinematic symbol. Power with poise. Style with danger. British engineering, shaken and stirred. 6 decades later, that moment is reborn. This is the Aston Martin DB12 Goldfinger Edition. A machine made to celebrate 60 years of Bond's first drive into film history. And this isn't just a repaint. It's not a nostalgic nod. This is a full-bodied tribute. A modern marvel. A collector's dream. A celebration of a bond between man, machine, and myth. Aston Martin calls the DB12 the world's first Super Tourer. It's not just marketing. It's engineering truth. It's what happens when performance no longer compromises comfort, when luxury sits comfortably beside raw power. It's where refinement and rebellion coexist. And for this Goldfinger edition, only 60 will ever exist. Let that sink in. 60 handcrafted masterpieces. Globally. Period. Each one a symbol of legacy. Of craftsmanship. Of cinematic history reimagined on 4 wheels. The design begins with a glint of silver birch, to be exact. The very same iconic hue that wrapped the original DB5 in 1964. This paint isn't just color, it's story. It's the memory of that car shimmering above the Furka Pass in the Swiss Alps. That shot. That silhouette. That scene. It's one of cinema's most unforgettable frames. And Aston Martin didn't just remember it, they recreated it. But this time, the car has grown more aggressive. Wider haunches. Sharper lines. A face sculpted for presence, for command, for control. The DB12 looks ready to break records or infiltrate enemy compounds. Every angle glistens. Every curve speaks. And beneath that aluminum skin? A 4.0-litre twin-turbo V8 that produces a staggering 671 horsepower and 590 pound-foot of torque. 0 to 60? In the low 3s. And the top speed? Over 200 miles per hour. But this isn't about numbers. It's about narrative. Because the moment you step inside, you're in Bond's world. The seats? They're more than leather. They're sculpture. Designed in the original fluted pattern that lined the seats of the DB5. And it doesn't stop there. Peer closely, the perforations across the upholstery reveal a Prince of Wales dotted check pattern. Subtle. Sophisticated. Iconic. The same pattern worn by Sean Connery's Bond in that famed 3-piece suit, tailored for Goldfinger. It's more than detail. It's identity. The pattern continues across the doors. The headliner. Even the tread plates, each etched with precision. Every inch of this cabin was designed to immerse, not just impress. Bond didn't just wear his suit, he wore confidence. This interior feels exactly the same. But then, your fingers find the controls. Gold. Not glitter. Not flash. Real, 18-karat gold-plated dials on the drive mode selector, on the roller controllers. This isn't excess. It's celebration. Bond always recognized luxury. The correct temperature for sake. The correct year for a Chateau Lafite. He never flaunted it. But he always knew. This car knows. The trim inlays aren't your typical carbon fiber. Aston Martin infused gold fibers directly into the 2x2 twill carbon, so even the structure gleams with refinement. And then, you see it. The gear selector. Solid. Perfectly balanced. Gold-plated. Etched with an intricate design, a subtle nod to one of Bond's most brilliant moves. When he slipped a magnetic tracker into Goldfinger's car outside the Royal Street Marks Golf Club. That device. That moment. That ingenuity. It's here. In the way you shift gears. Clever. Understated. Pure Q. And speaking of clever, the DB12 Goldfinger Edition doesn't stop with what you see. It comes with collectibles worthy of MI6. Inside a bespoke Globetrotter GT suitcase styled after the DB5 itself, with a silver birch outer shell and Prince of Wales check lining, you'll find a bottle of Bollinger, gift-wrapped. A luxury key box, crafted with a silver birch speed form. And an actual strip of original Goldfinger celluloid film. A physical piece of history. In your hands. Then there's the limited edition magazine, one of only 60 ever made. Each one golden. Each one personal. Because ownership of this machine is more than a transaction. It's admission into an elite chapter of storytelling. This car is cinema you can drive. But don't let the elegance distract you. Beneath the gold and silver, the DB12 Goldfinger Edition is built for the road and the thrill. Adaptive dampers read the terrain. A new electronic rear differential reacts in milliseconds. The chassis is 7% stiffer than before, the feedback immediate. This isn't a car that dances on its toes. It grips. It launches. It devours corners and straightaways alike. It's as ready for Monaco as it is for a midnight chase through mountain passes. And all the while, you're cocooned in hand-stitched leather, surrounded by Bang & Olufsen acoustics, immersed in a digital cockpit that never loses its analog soul. This isn't the future. This is the present perfected. Aston Martin didn't just want to make a limited edition. They wanted to immortalize Bond's legacy in a way that had never been done before. They wanted to ask, what if Bond's DB5 wasn't frozen in time? What if it evolved? What if it returned, sharper, faster, and dressed to kill? The answer is here. The Aston Martin DB12 Goldfinger Edition isn't just the ultimate Bond machine. It's the embodiment of style, performance, precision, and British cool. A car that turns every drive into a mission. A car that doesn't just honor legacy, it creates it. Because in a world of gadgets, suits, and secret doors, nothing makes a statement like an Aston Martin. This is Silver Birch reborn. This is gold where it matters. This is a Bond moment waiting for your hands on the wheel. Only 60 will ever exist. Which begs the question. Will you just watch the movie, or will you become part of it? Because legends like this don't wait. They vanish. They disappear into private collections, hidden garages, mountain roads. And once they are gone, they are gone. The DB12 Goldfinger Edition. A machine. A memory. A mission. Are you ready to drive like Bond? Because this is your cue. Driving the DB12 Goldfinger Edition is not simply about speed. It's about sensation. It's about the feeling of precision under your fingertips, the instant response from the throttle, the whisper-quiet roar that builds like a theme song with every press of your foot. The steering? Razor-sharp, electrically assisted yet never detached. It gives you control with just the right feedback. You're not piloting a machine, you're dancing with a legacy. Each corner you take is a curve written by 60 years of performance heritage. The moment you engage GT mode, you feel the car shift its personality from suave cruiser to silent assassin. Sport and Sport Plus unlock deeper layers of intensity. The transmission sharpens, the exhaust notes rise, the suspension tightens. The DB12 doesn't just adapt to your environment, it responds to your intent. Want to cruise through the city with quiet confidence? Done. Want to disappear into the mountains and let the car take over your senses? Done. Want to merge both Bond's effortless elegance with unapologetic power? That's what this was built for. It's no exaggeration to say that this machine speaks two languages, opulence and aggression. And it's fluent in both. The DB12 is the most technologically advanced Aston Martin ever produced. Yet it never shouts about it. The 10.25-inch touchscreen doesn't overwhelm the interior with unnecessary drama. It fits. Clean. Crisp. Designed with Bond-like discretion. Your connection to the car is immediate. Everything feels deliberate, from the placement of the controls to the custom configurable instrument cluster. Even the climate vents exude style, finished with brushed metals that catch light like a luxury watch. Ambient lighting pulses softly, wrapping you in an atmosphere that never distracts, only enhances. And then, you hear it. The engine. A sound that doesn't beg for attention, it earns it. A deep, visceral tone tuned for authority. Not obnoxious. Not artificial. Just raw, authentic engineering, breathing life into every mile. The sound is a reminder, you're not in just any car. You're in something bespoke. Something limited. Something crafted to celebrate 6 decades of the greatest automotive cinematic partnership in history. Let's not forget what's under the hood. The 4.0L twin-turbo V8 isn't just powerful, it's perfected. Co-developed with Mercedes-AMG but tuned by Aston Martin's own engineers, it's not a borrowed engine. It's a remastered symphony. A 671 horsepower anthem to British performance. Mated to an 8-speed ZF transmission and paired with a newly developed electronic limited-slip differential, the DB12 stays planted no matter how hard it's pushed. Wet road. Hairpin turns. Autobahn speed. The Goldfinger Edition remains composed, as if it knows the stakes and relishes the challenge. It's that confidence that defines the DB12. Like Bond himself, it never tries too hard. It doesn't need to. Its aura, its presence, speaks before it moves. But what truly sets this edition apart is the emotional craftsmanship. Aston Martin's Q division, responsible for bespoke customization, went to obsessive levels to recreate the mood of Goldfinger. The Prince of Wales check isn't printed, it's perforated with surgical precision. The stitching is done by artisans, not machines. The materials are curated from Aston Martin's most premium range, matched by hand, panel by panel. The 18CT gold trim pieces aren't dipped. They are plated, then polished, then set into place by a master craftsman. Why? Because Bond wouldn't accept anything less. Even the presentation of the car feels like a scene. The custom-designed cover slides off like a tuxedo jacket. Underneath, the Silver Birch glows under showroom lighting, subtly mirroring the lighting of that infamous scene above the Furka Pass. That was no coincidence. That was by design. Aston Martin didn't just build a limited edition. They orchestrated a return to form. A resurrection of a feeling that can't be bought, only relived. And for collectors, this isn't just a car. It's a time capsule. A physical, drivable tribute to the golden age of Bond captured in metal, leather, carbon fiber, and gold. An expression of British power, with just the right amount of mischief. And then there are the gifts. No ordinary welcome kit. You open the Globetrotter GT case, and suddenly you're inside the movie. The Silver Birch casing reflects back at you. You unzip it, and find the check-lined interior staring back with precision. Inside, nestled among curated compartments, is a golden-edged magazine, one of only 60 on Earth. It's embossed. Signed. Numbered. Next to it? A rare, original celluloid film strip from Goldfinger. Framed. Protected. And now, in your possession. Then, the bottle, a limited Bollinger vintage, selected to match the tone of the Goldfinger year. It's not just champagne. It's the same house Bond toasted with, repeatedly, in nearly every film since. And finally, the key box, a work of art in itself. Inside rests the DB12's key, flanked by a precision-crafted Silver Birch speed form. Touch it, and you feel the weight. The story. The soul. Owning this car isn't an experience, it's a ceremony. And driving it? That's where the transformation happens. You stop being the observer, the fan, the viewer. You become the character. Every turn of the wheel. Every golden glint in the cabin. Every ripple of the exhaust. It's not just Aston Martin flexing its craftsmanship, it's a reminder that heritage isn't static. It moves. It breathes. It drives. The DB12 Goldfinger Edition isn't trying to be modern-day Bond. It already is. It embodies everything the world has come to love about 007: confidence, precision, sophistication, unpredictability. It isn't brash. It doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't need to. Because everything that matters is already under the surface. 60 examples. Worldwide. Once they are gone, they become ghosts. The kind Bond would chase. The kind you'll never catch again. So if you're one of the chosen few, if you're lucky enough to sit behind this wheel, to feel that gold-plated Geschichte in your hand, to fire up that twin-turbo V8 and hear it respond like a secret awakened, then understand this. You're not just driving the future of Aston Martin. You're driving a legacy. You're driving the ultimate Bond machine. There's something about the way it moves. The DB12 Goldfinger Edition doesn't just glide down the road. It commands it. Every gear change is a statement. Every acceleration is a flex of legacy. You don't just hear it, you feel it in your spine. And more importantly, in your soul. It's a car built for the 1% of the 1%. But it's not about wealth. It's about taste. About awareness. About knowing that greatness doesn't shout, it whispers, until you press the pedal. When you drive it, people don't just look. They pause. Not because it's loud, but because it's unforgettable. That silver birch shimmer isn't just a nod to the past, it's the signal of excellence reborn. The gold accents, the Prince of Wales detailing, the cinematic celluloid, they are not gimmicks. They are art forms. Symbols. Subtle reminders that this is more than automotive. This is cultural. This is Bond's past. Your present. And Aston Martin's future forged together. And yet, despite its cinematic roots, the DB12 Goldfinger Edition is a real-world performance weapon. It grips like a race car but rides like a limousine. It has all the tech you'd expect from a modern GT: navigation, surround view, wireless Apple CarPlay, state-of-the-art driver aids, but all of it is hidden beneath a shell of heritage and class. There's no clutter here. No oversized screens trying to convince you of modernity. The DB12 knows it's modern, it just chooses to express it with confidence, not chaos. From the hand-wrapped dashboard to the symmetrical console layout, everything is balanced. Every texture, from the matte carbon weave to the brushed aluminum to the soft touch stitched leather, is tuned for the senses. You see it. You feel it. You understand it. Even the way the doors shut. Solid. No rattle. Just resonance. Bond would approve. And Aston Martin knows, it's not just about the car. It's about the experience. That's why the delivery of the DB12 Goldfinger Edition is treated like an event. Your handover isn't a transaction. It's an induction. Into the most exclusive of clubs. Imagine it. A specially prepared showroom. A silver drape. Classical music softly echoing in the background. A single spotlight. And then, the reveal. Your DB12 Goldfinger Edition sitting beneath, glowing like a dream come true. The casing of the Globetrotter suitcase beside it. The signature Bollinger ready to be uncorked. This is how icons are welcomed into their next chapter. Because once you own one, you're not just a customer. You become part of the legacy. Every time you take it out, you don't just arrive, you enter a scene. And as the roads unravel beneath you, you realize something profound. The DB12 isn't about driving fast, it's about driving with purpose. About knowing that every road, every mile, every glance from another driver, it's not attention you're getting. It's respect. And respect can't be bought. It has to be earned. Crafted. Engineered. Exactly like this machine. The Goldfinger Edition is the most complete Aston Martin ever produced. It's luxury. It's legacy. It's speed. It's storytelling. It's everything you didn't know you needed until the moment you're in it. And then you wonder, how did I ever settle for less? It's rare that a car makes you question your standards. Even rarer when it raises them. This car is the kind of moment that comes once in a lifetime. And for 60 lucky owners, it becomes a forever symbol of taste, power, and cultural immortality. No other car wears gold this subtly. No other car channels a film legacy this directly. No other brand could have done it. Only Aston Martin. Because while other cars evolve, some ascend. And this one? This one became legend the moment it left the factory gates. So now, you have to ask yourself, are you ready? Are you ready to grip that gold-plated selector? To watch the world blur in silver birch streaks? To be part of something no money can truly buy, a moment, a mood, a mission? Because this car isn't just for driving. It's for owning history. It's for wearing confidence. It's for entering a world where every engine note is a soundtrack. Where every journey feels like a getaway. Where every stoplight becomes a premiere. This is not just a vehicle. This is James Bond's soul, engineered into reality. And now, it's calling you. If you enjoyed this exclusive look into the ultimate Bond machine, Hit that like button, subscribe to Gearless Garage, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss a drive through the world's rarest machines, legends, and icons. Because here, we don't just talk about cars. We bring legends back to life. Until next time, drive smart, dream bold, and always stay undercover.